Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with April. This time we're going to brew AeroPress because Rasmus here just won the Danish AeroPress Championship 1 week after the roasting championship. And we just want to, well, he just want to show you guys how he brewed the coffee. We'll probably also just do some like quick discussions about the competition itself. I myself have competed once, I think. Didn't go so well, to be fair. So we want to understand what Rasmus won. Basically, right? For you guys that want a basic introduction to AeroPress, check out our YouTube video. We have it already. We'll link it down here somewhere to kind of see how we normally do it. We usually love to do AeroPress when it comes to compulsory rounds and brewers competitions. Apart from that, we don't really use it that much, to be fair. Right? Rasmus, do you brew AeroPress at home?
Rarely, very rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like AeroPress coffee?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it depends on the coffee, right?
Yeah.
But normally I'd go for a V60.
Yeah, I mean, I still think if you want to taste the AeroPress, go to the Tim Vendeborg shop in Oslo. I think he has it down. It's always delicious.
Nice.
But cool. I mean, for those that don't know, what's the AeroPress Championship?
So basically, it's a really simple format. Basically, all the competitors get the coffee a week beforehand, 250 grams of the competition coffee. They get to practice and do whatever recipes they feel like. And then when it comes to the competition, you get a new 250 gram bag, and then you go in sets of 3, right? So each round is 3 persons. They all brew their coffee within 8 minutes, submit it to the judges, and then all the judges blind taste the coffees, and then they point at the one they think is the best one. Yeah,
so that's 3 judges often as well doing the same thing, right? And then it's just rounds, and the winner goes, in this case, to London to compete in the World AeroPress Championship, which is a thing as well. Do you know all the details about the coffee before the competition? Do you know country and stuff?
It's a mystery coffee, so they tell you that when you enter the final, basically, just when you started brewing in the final, they say it's this coffee.
Yeah. And before we kind of jump on brewing, what is the kind of main thing? I mean, on competition day, do you practice for like months before? And what do you actually do during the competition day? What did you do?
Well, during the competition day, we went in on the shop where this competition was held a few hours beforehand, and then did the dial in on the day, and then that was basically it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. And what's the kind of, because you do multiple rounds here, right? You do 3 rounds to get to the final, so 2 to get to the final.
Semi-final and then the final.
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing that's on my mind then isn't it really difficult to be consistent?
Sure, it is. I mean, it's always difficult to be consistent in brewing.
Okay, so when you design your recipe, is it fair to say that one of the focuses is to find a recipe that is consistent all the time, or are you did you do the same recipe every round, or did you try to tweak it?
Different every 3 rounds.
Different every 3 rounds.
Yeah, but I'll come to that when we get there.
Okay, let's get there now.
Let's get there now.
And discuss why did you change, or what did you change in between those 3 rounds?
That was the amount of dilution.
Dependent
on the taste of the coffee.
Cool. Awesome. For you guys to kind of understand what dilution means and what we're talking about, let's jump into the brewing. Go for it. Any specific? I know we're doing something special with the paper filter, which I think is really cool. I'm not going to talk more about that. Let's go for it. Let's brew an AeroPress, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Walk me through it.
Basically, using the reverse string of the AeroPress, where you would normally go like this and have the filter here, but we use a reverse AeroPress here, and then do a concentrate. So basically 30 grams of coffee to 120 grams of water, which sits at only 81 degrees.
Why 81? I mean, what happens if I do 85? Does it taste like shit, or?
It actually did in this case.
It actually did in this case. Okay, cool. So it's fair to say that a lower, usually when doing this, a lower temperature brings out a bit more acidity, a bit more vibrancy, and a higher temperature brings out a bit more
That's mainly why we do
sweetness.
this brew, is to get out some acidity from the coffee, right? Okay, so basically pour in the 120 grams of coffee in 10 seconds, stir for 10 seconds, and then flip it and let sit for 1 minute to brew, and then press down in 20 seconds when you reach the 1 minute. And after that, we do the dilution.
Where are we in terms of grind size? That's something we missed. Which grinder did you use?
use the EK43 on the competition day, and just the coarsest grind setting possible. And we've done that on every single grinder we practiced on for AeroPress.
Yeah, and just because I know you guys are gonna ask, in terms of Commandante grinder, we're talking what, 30, 35 plus clicks, 40, I mean, just go really coarse,
If you have red clicks in, it'll be like 44, 46, I think.
Go a bit crazy, okay, so go really coarse, yeah, cool. Awesome.
Yep.
Go for it. Awesome, so that's 10 seconds and then you start stirring. "20 seconds, lid on." And that's a pretty nice detail, because what you're doing here, before you flip it, you actually make sure you shake it properly. And that basically means you have no coffee stuck up on the rim, which happens quite often when it comes to AeroPress brewing in general, which is really cool.
Yep.
And now we're waiting. Okay, cool.
Waiting.
So 1 minute. Why 1 minute?
I mean, that's the brew time, right? So
That's the fair enough. That's the brew time that makes the best cup. Okay, and then you're pressing down. So there's been a lot of debate about, should you press all the way down, or should you leave this kind of air gap? Should you press fast? Should you press slow? Do you have any theories about this?
Yeah, I mean, basically what people are always saying is that you shouldn't put it all the way to the bottom because of grounds. I think I've heard most recently.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the pitches you extract a bit more oils, right? To get a slightly dirty kind of character to it. I think it's fair to say that because we're grinding super coarse, that's not going to happen. Because when you press down, you actually have very little resistance.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, we're also timing the press down to what? How many seconds?
20.
20 seconds. And that's actually allowing you to press all the way down, maximizing what you get out in terms of flavor clarity, without getting any dirty stuff in the cup.
Yep.
Cool. So what do we next? Is there anything you can do here now to kind of, can you smell or taste this to determine if it's good, or do you need to pour some water in it first to kind of decide if it's good?
I'd pour some water in it first. At least that's how I did it in competition. So basically, I start with an 80-gram dilution. Taste it if I think it needs more dilution.
Yeah.
And then just go dilute until I think it's good, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, starting out with an 80 grams.
What did you use in the competition?
In the first round, I used 110 grams.
Yeah.
Because it was not very clean. It was not a very good brew in the first round.
Yeah.
So I diluted a bit more.
Yeah.
In the second round, it tasted a little bit better, so I went down to 100 grams. And then the third round in the final, it was actually the best cup so far, so I only did 85 grams in that one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it was basically if I liked it or not, I'd dilute more if I didn't.
Yeah,
That was
fair enough. Sure. And you are allowed to do this in the competition. Again, the AeroPress competition is a bit more loose than other competitions would be. Okay, but now you obviously pour a bit more because you didn't like that cup.
Yeah. No, I liked it, but I just thought it would be better like this.
Okay,
it was a very heavy.
Okay.
So basically just diluting it to not be as heavy.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there any idea about the water temperature you dilute with? So is that like the same as you brewed with, or do you have higher temperature or lower temperature?
I use the same as my brewing water.
Yeah.
I saw a lot in the competition using like cold water actually to get the temperature down in the cup when they served it to the judges because they thought the coffee was better cooler.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep it a little bit warmer because it got some very unpleasant acidity when it got too cold.
Yeah, and I mean, this goes for brewers as well. You need to allow the judges to experience the coffee in multiple temperature. That's pretty important. So don't serve anything too cold, basically, right? Because they're going to taste all the way down to cold. Yeah. And I've been judging a few AeroPress Championships, and that's the same thing, that you really make the last decision when the cup is the coldest, right? Yeah. Cool. Before we wrap this up, I mean, we're going to do a little. I mean, you are going to do. I'm just going to hold this and say that we're doing a little shout out to this guy. I can't even pronounce it.
Asia.
Asia?
Yeah.
Is that Canadian? These are AeroPress filters manufactured in Vancouver, and I got a guy writing to me on Instagram, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name, And he basically like, do you want to try some AeroPress filters? And we like to try new stuff here at April. And we said, yeah, that's cool. And you use these for competition.
Yes. So basically, I did a match with that one and the original AeroPress filters, and this just came out cleaner and more balanced, basically. So it was a very good feature in the AeroPress brewing for the competition, because I mean, you could actually taste it when you tasted the others' coffees as well, who did kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But this one just came out cleaner. And I guess that's because of the filter as well.
Which is really cool. I'm just going to read on the back of this. And again, we're not in no way sponsored to have any collaboration with this guy whatsoever. We just think the product is really cool.
Yeah.
And it probably helped
and
you win,
works.
to be fair. Filters are made from a premium paper with an ultra consistent pulp and a smaller pore size. I assume that's smaller in relationship to the original filter, resulting in a coffee that is noticeably cleaner and more vibrant, which is basically what you pitched as well. I mean, super cool. We love new products, and it's really interesting. And if you guys want to try it, then, you know, buy it, I guess. I mean, I know you can get it somewhere online in Canada for sure. Awesome. Any other notes?
Yeah, side note, you're allowed to use your own water for the competition as well, which made it very diverse in terms of the taste of the coffees in the competition.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, we discussed this a bit before the competition, that being different is a good thing here, right?
Yes.
So you want to have a cup that is not just tasty, but also maybe actually stands out a bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe has a bit more acidity or a bit more vibrancy than another cup. Awesome. That's about it, no?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any AeroPress questions, as always, just write them down here. We'll link to a bunch of recipes, older videos, or write Rasmus and just ask him about how he's brewing AeroPress. Thank you guys for watching.